All right, and we are back. 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 Welcome. All right, and we are back, and today we're back with another reaction video. We're actually going to be taking a look at something history related, because you guys know that your boy loves history. So we're going to be checking out a channel that I actually love, and they just came out with a new video. This is a video about OverSimplified. Now, we're going to be going over the Punic Wars, guys. If you're not familiar, well, luckily for you, he actually made a recap of the very first video, and that way we can get right into the second one. We can do the recap and then go into part one, and then just see how, see what's going on, see how the war continued or progressed. It might be kind of fun. So guys, if you haven't already and you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I love reading the comments. I like seeing the likes, and obviously I do like when people actually subscribe to the channel. So those three things, you do them all together, it works out perfectly. Now guys, if you haven't already checked out OverSimplified and you only know of me and you haven't heard OverSimplified, well, go check him out. Link will be in the bio. No, link will be in the description below. This is YouTube, guys, YouTube. So if you make sure you check out OverSimplified, you comment, tell him that I sent you, see if he'll subscribe to me, because that'll just be an incredible thing. Now guys, here's the serious part. Got to get serious. I have merch. I do. I have a merch store. Check it out. Link also in the description. But more serious than that, if you guys don't like, comment, and subscribe, YouTube will come through that door, and they will OverSimplified the Punic Wars recap. All right, previously on.
War between the two superpowers seemed inevitable. So if you put a very strategically important island between them, 2 + 2 = war.
Nice.
Sicily was an island. Islands are surrounded by water.
That's true.
I guess we're just gonna have to go ahead and build ourselves a war fleet, aren't we? From scratch? From scratch. They developed ingenious new ways of waging war. They attempted an invasion of the Carthaginian heartland. Look at this thing. It's unbelievable.
Whoa.
And whenever disasters struck them, they all...
Guys, I don't remember that part of the last video. I don't know what's going on right now.
Always came back again and again. The Romans have built another fleet. Oh, for goodness sake! The Carthaginians later sent possibly the greatest military general of the time, a man named Hamilcar Barca, to the island.
Oh, no.
But in the end, it was Roman determination that won the fight.
I just don't care.
And you have to pay us 2,200.
Okay, so there was a treaty. So this is so far what I've got out of the recap, and I'm not sure if this was the best interpretation of what it's gotten, but from what I understand, there was a war between the Carthaginians, the people from Carthage, and the Romans. Okay, and then they were fighting, but then they were like, we have to really fight over this island of Sicily, which is going to be strategically very important to both sides. And then they had a lot of battles, and then they are now doing a treaty. And yeah, I think that's where I'm at so far.
Talents of silver over the next 20 years.
Ay, caramba! That will cripple us.
One day, Carthage will have its revenge. My beautiful son. You are
Vengeance!
Okay, so the leader of Carthage at this point has a child he's going to raise in order to like take over Rome. This is what I'm gathering here. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys. Okay, guys, how was that recap for you? I will say I feel like this recap could have been done a little bit different. This seemed like more of a here's like some highlights of the more intense moments. This was like a wrestling promo versus like a full like review or recap of the first one. This was more like a here's a bunch of highlight clips to emotionally get you ready for the next one, but not like fully up here like the recap. I feel like he could have like just went over some explanations, but that's just me. That's why he oversimplified it. That's his thing. He oversimplifies things. So actually this is on brand.
Stupid chickens!
Okay. So do you guys feel prepared? Are you ready to go into part 1 of Oversimplified? The Second Punic War. Do you guys feel prepared with that? I hope so, because we're about to get into it right now.
This video was made possible by NordVPN. Click the
Good old NordVPN. We all love a Nord ad.
link below
Shoutouts to Nord, man.
and get an exclusive deal with 4 extra months.
Make sure you go to NordVPN/Oversimplified. This is a /, not a / /oversimplified. They'll give you 4 additional months. 4, not I put up 4 on both hands, so it's not 8. It's only 4.
Also, check out the merch store for some new.
Oh wow, he has a merch store. Crazy. That's crazy. You know who else has a merch store? Do you guys know who else has a merch store? Has anybody else told you that other people have merch stores besides Oversimplified? I'm not sure.
Character pins, the last remaining bucket plushies,
Whoa.
and even a calendar. And
Whoa.
not done yet. We've partnered with U2s to bring you an exclusive Oversimplified Roman consul figure. Get it while you can.
What? That is crazy. U2s.com. That's crazy. I've never even heard of this place before. This is interesting. U2s, you know, your boy. I'm interested, you know, hit me up. I got you. You know, I got the symbol all ready for you. You can just do like this logo with like, you know, my body and everything. It'll be great, bro. I trust you guys. So obviously make sure you guys go to oversimplified.youtubes.com to get his, but then also make sure you go to youtubes.com, submit that I should get one of these, and then they'll email me and everything. It'll be worth it, guys. Trust me.
.com, but it's limited edition. So once it's gone,
mine may also be limited edition, but I'll fight to make it like a permanent thing, guys. Just make sure you know. I understand that he is specifically is limited edition for the video, but I'll make sure that mine. I'll fight for you guys to be able to always purchase mine, but also purchase his and then purchase mine, because mine isn't out yet. They haven't got in contact with me because you guys haven't sent all the emails yet, but I know they're on the way. They're like being sent out right now. Make sure if you haven't paused the video right now, you don't even have to pause, because I'm just yapping right now. So you can go ahead and do the whole like go onto your email right now, and then this is the time where I'm giving you to send out that email to youtubes.com. It's, you know, I'm working for you guys, really.
it's gone. So go and buy it now. Hey, what are you still doing here? I said go and buy it now!
Yeah. Send out that email. All right. Now, once that email is sent, we're going to be back. We're in Sicca, Carthage. This is 241 BC. This is immediately after. Okay.
All right. Our beloved mercenaries. Let's hear it. Okay. Thank you one and all for your hard work fighting in the First Punic War. Would have been nice if you'd won. Maybe tried a little harder. But this isn't the finger-pointing convention. I know you all have one thing on your minds. Hey, when are we all getting paid?
You know, that is something that most soldiers have on their mind at a lot of times.
Remember you lost your
Okay. Jim, why don't you tell them? I'm not telling them, you tell them. Look, you're not getting paid.
Ooh.
We lost the First Punic War and owe the Romans a ton of reparations. Of course we can't pay you in full.
Let's burn this place to the—
Hold on. He said not in full. So guys, relax. They're still going to pay you in clout. You know, they're going to like do something and then they're going to make sure that your name gets put on there as well. They're going to, you know, do something that's super cool and then they're going to give you partial credit for it. So this is all going to work out, guys. Just trust them, have faith.
the ground.
Hey! Don't burn this place to the ground. Come on, fellas. Will killing us really make you feel better about your money? Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I you know, I didn't think it would.
Way to go, sir. Shut up, Jim. You're fired. I guess that makes two of us. Huh? In the aftermath of the First Punic War, Carthage's disgruntled mercenaries, left unpaid for all their hard work, revolted, and Carthage found itself caught up in an extremely destructive mercenary war. The panicked Carthaginians hired more mercenaries to fight the mercenaries they couldn't afford to pay, and Carthage came dangerously close to collapse.
Yeah, I'm about to say this sounds like internal collapse. Like at this point, Rome probably don't even have to do anything. They're just like, they're just watching. Maybe send a couple of more mercenaries that way just so they can add to the dysfunction. I don't know. What do you do?
All the while, across the water, there was Rome. Ha! Look at those morons. We just kicked their ass in the First Punic War, and now their own mercenaries are revolting. Haha. Yeah. Wait, First Punic War? You mean there's going to be a second one? Well, we're definitely taking advantage of this situation.
Yeah.
So almost certainly, yes. The Romans did, in fact, take advantage of the situation. Amongst the chaos, rebels on the Carthaginian island of Sardinia sent out a cry for help to Rome. Hot diggity dog, said the Romans. That's free real estate. And so in they went. Whoa. That's our island. Get the hell off. Hey, they requested our help. We're simply helping. Oh, no, you don't. Look, we're sending our own army to deal with the rebels, okay? But just to be clear, we're not trying to start a...
But your army can't handle taking on these rebels as well as maintaining function in the mainland. That's going to be a big problem. You're spreading your forces too thin. That you can't even afford to pay the people, and now they're having a whole thing because you couldn't afford to pay them. Sending off more troops to an area that you can barely afford to, you know, you can't monetarily afford it, and you really don't have the spare soldiers. So it's like, you know, you might have to take. You probably should have took that L.
Fight with you, so, you know, don't declare war on us or anything. War! We surrender! Great. And as part of the peace treaty, we get to keep these islands.
Yep. Yep. You see what happens? You see what happens, and now you just look down.
The Carthaginians were hopping mad. As if their humiliating loss in the First Punic War wasn't bad enough, the Romans now took advantage of their mercenary problem and stole their islands. This shocking land grab was pretty hard to justify, even by Roman standards. Additionally, the Romans now demanded Carthage pay them even more money on top of what was already owed. If Rome was trying to make Carthage as mad as possible, they were doing a fantastic job. The seeds of a second Punic War were being sown, and they were being watered with Carthaginian tears. Resentment in Carthage only continued to grow. Eventually, Carthage solved their mercenary problem thanks to Carthaginian military genius and hero of the First Punic War, Hamilcar Barca. He sorted those naughty mercenaries out with some good old-fashioned atrocities, and the destructive mercenary war was over. Still, all was not well in Carthage. Mere decades ago, they were the top dogs in the Western Mediterranean. Now, after the crushing defeat in the First Punic War and a huge bill to pay the Romans, Carthage was well and truly under Rome's thumb. What on earth were they supposed to do? If they wanted any chance at regaining their former strength, there was one thing they needed now, more than anything.
Gold. You gotta find gold and sell it. That's gonna be the most important thing here, guys. I'm just talking. I'm sorry. I'm just yapping. I'm sorry.
Money. But as
I was close. So yeah, I was actually close. I was actually 100% right.
long as they
I wasn't actually just yapping. Actually, I have foresight into this, guys. If I was back then, they would have won, and we would have been like, "Yo, man, have you been to, Carthage lately? It's super cool. Rome, who goes there?"
owed Rome $1 bazillion, there was nothing they could do. Fortunately for them, amongst their ranks, there was one big hunk of a man with one big clump of a brain. Me!
Hamilcar Barca?
Yes! Wait, why do you all have the exact same voice?
Ah, I have it too.
That's right. Hero of the First Punic War, greatest general alive, and the poster above my bed. Hamilcar Barca had an idea. All right,
Okay.
we need money? Well, I've got one word for you.
Taxes. Is he gonna say taxes?
Spain. An area filled with lucrative silver mines, from which the silver would flow like a river, and our pockets would be stuffed.
Okay.
Like Tony's mother at a buffet. Hey! So here's my proposal. You send me with an army to Spain. I'll expand our territory, get those silver mines up and running, and we'll be able to pay the Romans back in no time.
Okay.
But just to check, you're not secretly raising the money to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree against Rome, are you? Because
Let's let's not think about that. Let's just think about what he is proposing right now.
we can't afford that. Hanno, my dear, I'm simply going to pay them back.
Yeah, don't look into
wasn't
that.
reassuring. Few in Carthage were as bitter about their loss in the First Punic War as Hamilcar Barca. 98% of his brain matter had been reallocated to thoughts of revenge. He was also fed up with the Carthaginian politicians for what he deemed a cowardly betrayal when they surrendered at the end.
Guys, what game is this right here? I feel like I may have played something similar to this before, but I don't remember what it's called. Guys, if you can pause the video, if you can think of what the name of this game is on there, go ahead and comment it below.
End of the last war. And so for Hamilcar, going to Spain meant being able to act independently from the weak Carthaginian government, building his own strength, and then perhaps somewhere down the line, revenge. However, he wasn't going to Spain by himself. Hannibal? Yes, father? Would you like to come with me to build an empire in Spain?
Oh, wait. This is gonna... Okay, so... This is where things going to be interesting, because I've heard of Hannibal before. He's actually going to be pretty famous in the future. So, this is his dad. This is all coming together, all making sense.
Oh boy, would I! Barbara, mind if I take our 9-year-old son with me? I want to implant an intense hatred of Rome in him and prepare him for a glorious campaign of vengeance. Just try not to traumatize him, dear. No promises. The young boy Hannibal would accompany his father, watching, learning. Boy, you see that city over there? Yes, father? That is Rome. Do you know what we do to Romans? No.
I'm pretty sure this is how people who think the earth is flat believe that if you go high up enough, you could just climb up a normal mountain and just see the world like this. I am fairly certain this is how they believe visually everything looks when you go up 100 feet in the air.
Father, we hate them, Hannibal. We hate them with every fiber of our being. But why, Father? Can't I just play with my Digimons? No, son! They took everything from...
Digimons? Kid. I like Digimon. It was cool. Pokemon.
Our land, our wealth, our pride. Those animals. I'll tear them limb from limb. I'll burn their pathetic city to the ground. Dad? I'm sorry, son. I've just never been so proud. Keep going. I'll slaughter their people. I'll cut off their faces and wear them as masks. I love you, son. After taking Hannibal to the Temple of Baal and having him swear an oath never to be a friend of Rome, off Dad and son went for their lovely beach holiday in Spain. But Spain was already inhabited by many tribespeople, and when Hamilcar suddenly showed up in their territory, They were like, "Hey, who the hell are you? What are you doing here?" "I'm teaching my son how to become a warrior like me." "Aw, well, that's sweet." "Well,
Oh, that's not okay. I feel like I already know where this is gonna go. May not want to get too close to the kid, buddy. I don't think this is gonna be your
hey,
friend.
little guy, let's see what you got."
Yep.
Good boy. As Hamilcar got to work fighting the tribes of Iberia and expanding Carthaginian influence, Hannibal became a child of war, even earning battle scars from a young age. And he grew to become a great military leader himself, making his father very proud. "I love you so much, son." "Dad, not in front of the enemy." "You killed that guy so well, son." The Barcas successfully consolidated Carthaginian power, got those silver mines up and running, and were sending buckets of cash back to a money-starved Carthage. And symbolizing Carthage's regrowing strength, a beautiful new city would eventually be founded in Spain. New Carthage, with a magnificent palace at its center.
Nice.
Carthage is back!
Now, I will say, instead of putting all this money towards the new palace and everything, this is probably where I would have been like, all right, let's focus on getting the money for the war effort back to Rome. Because a new city feels, it does bring up more opportunity to create more money. But also in the moment, you do want to kind of focus and like, you know, aim at Rome specifically with, you know, go back to the original plan. But this doesn't seem to fall in line like exactly with the original plan. This seems to be like stepping a little bit, you know, you give an inch, you go a mile. This is a whole new city. That's a lot. That's a lot to do, especially if you want the city to look nice. They said it was a nice, shining new city. That's expensive.
Baby, what in the name of Apollo is going on here? Ah, Romans! Flowing silver mines? Dancing elephants? What are you up to, Hamilcar? I'm simply gathering the money to pay you back. Oh, okay then. Or are you rebuilding strength to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree? Like I said, Claudius, I'm simply trying to pay you back. Aw, you guys are hugging. No, we're not. I was hugging. Hamilcar had practically carved out a kingdom for himself in Spain,
Okay, guy.
free from the meddling Carthaginian politicians. His power was becoming immense. But Dad, yes, my son? I'm confused. Are we really simply paying the Romans back?
No, son. No. You're gonna pay them back, but not monetarily.
We're not gonna go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree? Of course we are.
Yeah.
We're just saying that to get the Romans off our backs.
Exactly.
Listen, here's the most important life lesson.
You can't just tell the people that you're gonna go on a blood spree on that you're gonna do it. Like you have to, like, you know, if they come at you, you'll be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Nothing, just chilling around. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't look this way. Look over there. Look, what was that?
Lesson I have for you. Vengeance is everything. An
Yes.
all-encompassing thirst for vengeance is great for your mental health. Are you still confused? No.
A little.
I get it now. But what if the Romans find out what we're up to? They won't find out. Why? Well, Hannibal, because I use NordVPN.
Oh my gosh, guys, this was insane. Wow.
I'm confused again. Do you like your computer being
Yeah.
hacked, all your passwords being stolen, and used?
Guys, if you haven't already heard of NordVPN, make sure you go ahead and check them out. They're a great resource. Let's say you're in another country, you know? I don't know what country. You're just in a different country. What happened there? So let's say you're in, you know, Rome and you're like, "Oh man, I really want to watch this information here, but it's only available in Carthage." And you're like, "Oh wow, how do I make sure to continue to watch this video or information that I really want to see?" Hook up your VPN, select where you want to be located. You'll select Carthage in this scenario, and then bam, instantly from Rome, you'll still be able to access Carthage only information. This is incredible. Guys, this is a great resource. And from what I'm seeing here, you're going to get a discount. All you got to do is go to nordvpn.com/oversimplified. Don't do backslashes. Only do the forward slash. It's when the slash goes towards the right. Do that one. Guys, make sure you type in OverSimplified at NordVPN.com. That way you can get the discount. He's going to be giving you a discount. It's going to be a good amount of money off, guys. Trust me.
Tears, a child of war, and the Carthaginian conquest of Spain. The Carthaginian recovery had been staggeringly quick, and Rome was seriously alarmed. But they were also preoccupied with ongoing wars elsewhere, including an expansionist war to the north, where they were enslaving thousands of northern Celts. So for now, to keep Carthage in check, the Romans insisted on a new treaty. See this river? The two sides agreed that everything above it was in Rome's sphere of influence, while beneath it was Carthage. Under no circumstances were the Carthaginians to expand north of that river. But for now, Hamilcar and son were living it up. Well, son, here's to many more years of successful campaigning in Spain.
Oh, is he gonna die?
Excuse me, I just have to go fight those guys. See you later, son. I love you.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming, guys.
What the? Oh, crap. I drowned? Oh, well. Always remember, son. You are vengeance. Also, delete my browsing history. Hamilcar
Yeah, make sure you do that.
Barca was tragically ambushed at a river and drowned. His son-in-law, and possibly also his lover, no further questions.
Wait, what?
And drowned. His son-in-law, and possibly also his lover, no further questions, took charge for a while. But he too was later assassinated, leaving finally a 26-year-old Hannibal in charge of the Carthaginian armies in Spain.
Guys, are we just gonna like go past that? Like, no comment, his son-in-law, possibly his lover. There's a lot of questions I have about that.
Sources say the men readily accepted him as their leader. He chose to suffer the same hardships as his men. He lived in the same conditions, was often the first into battle and the last one out. And it also helped that he looked a lot like his dad. He had the total respect of his men. If he said jump, they said how high. If he said tuck me in, they said how tight. If he said talk to a girl without peeing your pants, they said that's impossible. Nobody can do that. An army that would follow him anywhere would be crucial for exacting.
It do be a little nerve-wracking talking to women. So, like, you know, that's why when you do it, you get, you know, it's like the confidence thing. That's what they like.
His vengeance against Rome. Hannibal's army had become a strong and loyal fighting force. And that was making a certain nation very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would be too.
Carthage re-strengthens.
And y'all got other wars and stuff going on. Like, you can't fully focus on them, and you see them getting stronger and building up. Like, it's starting to get a little hot in here, huh?
So quickly was not something Rome had expected. Yet here they were, paying off their debts and expanding their territory. It didn't feel very much like Carthage was under Rome's thumb at all, and Rome wanted to put an end to it. Tensions were strung tighter than your liar's G-string, and all it would take was one incident to trigger all-out war. And in 219 BC, a city in Spain would find itself at the very center of that fateful incident.
What?
Saguntum.
Why?
That treaty?
Yeah, the treaty said everything to the north of that river was Rome and everything to the south was going to be Carthage. This is clearly to the south. Why is there any dispute over this?
Declaring everything south of this river to be Carthage's sphere of influence?
Yeah.
Well, Saguntum should therefore obviously be Carthaginian, right?
Right, obviously. What is the what's the dispute here?
Wrong!
What?
Saguntum had actually scored itself an informal alliance with Rome, after Rome had helped it with an internal dispute. With Carthaginian encroachment, Saguntum began to fear for its independence, and Rome declared itself Saguntum's protector. But this clearly went against the Ebro River.
Yeah, we already got a treaty, bro. I'm sorry. Like, you should have told them before you signed the treaty that, like, hey, sorry guys. By the way, we signed a treaty with them, so like we can't come out there and protect you anymore. You lose the happiness of one small town, and you avoid a war. You're gonna save thousands of Roman lives here by not doing this, as well as Carthaginian lives. So like, it'll be best just let it go, Rome. Don't do it, but let's see what happens.
Treaty. So what on earth was Rome doing? Were the Saguntines and the Romans truly just BFFs? It's possible. Or was Rome deliberately trying to interfere with Hannibal's Spanish expansion and maintain a staging post for a future war with Carthage?
You know what? If I was Hannibal, I'd be thinking like, yo, why do they want this little place so bad? That's right in my territory, so that they can have free reign to just bring over tons of soldiers over there and start a war from a really good strategic starting point. You just get to land your ships directly over the sea, and then bam, right into all the action where my people, man. I don't know why I'm so pro Carthaginian in this video, but maybe it's just the field view, the perspective he's giving in the video. It just feels like these guys, they have a point of wanting this city and not wanting Rome to come in there. They got a point there.
More likely. And Hannibal certainly viewed this Rome-Saguntum alliance as an outrage.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it.
Another example
Don't trust it.
of Roman arrogance. At first, he left Saguntum alone. But having learnt from his father to hate all things Roman, and having inherited his father's dream of bringing Rome to its knees more and more, Hannibal may have begun to see Saguntum as an opportunity. Could this controversial alliance be just what devilish little Hannibal needed to kickstart a
Guys, what is this? What is this right now? What am I looking at right now? Oversimplified. What are you doing right now? It's not even Christmas is already over. This is a wild face.
second war with Rome and restore Carthaginian dominance? It's even possible that Rome were also using Saguntum to goad Hannibal into a fight, so they could go and kick him out of Spain. And
that does make sense. It's like one of those things. You're just waiting for him to like pull a punch. That way you can like, okay, bow. Because the whole thing about Rome is they were the whole, we don't just go out and attack people. We defend ourselves. You attack and we attack back. And when we attack back, we make sure you don't attack again by taking over all the territories and all that stuff and expanding. Like, we started as a really small area, and then people attacked us, and then we attacked them, and then expanded. And then it kept happening, and then we kept having to do it. It's not our fault. That's Rome. But this is a perfect opportunity for that. This is why they make alliances like this, so they can be like, oh, you attacked us, let's attack back. Boom, we get our territory safe, and we might as well expand and take over all the places that attacked us, because we can't just be. We can't just let people attack us. That'd be wild. We can't just not be ready for the next attack. We gotta expand. So yeah, this is a trap. But at the same time, if it was me, I would have been sending more money back to Carthage, and then make sure that they are prepared for multiple front attack on Rome at all times. I would have made sure that was happening.
The two giants began gearing up for round two. The poor people of Saguntum had no idea that they were about to be crushed in the collision.
Dang.
Hey, your alliance with Saguntum is an insult, and we won't stand for it. They're our friends, Hannibal, and if you lay a finger on them, it'll be an act of war. Yeah, Hannibal, back the hell off. War, eh? I was thinking I might just besiege their city and massacre their people. I hope you do, Hannibal. Find out what happens. Yeah, we hope you do, Hannibal. Wait, what? Maybe.
Yeah, they probably will.
Will, go ahead. Kill them all. Okay then. Fine. Okay, guess I'll do just that. Consul? We look forward to it. Consul? You're gonna protect us though, right, Consul?
Nah.
Consul!
Unfortunately, you guys have to be like the Rain Village if anybody's familiar with Naruto. You know, you're gonna be the stepping ground for the war. You know, this is just gonna be where the war happens, unfortunately. And if you live there, it's going to be a living nightmare.
Oh no! To top it all off, when the Saguntine people made the genius decision of raiding into Carthaginian territory,
No.
enough was enough. In an action that was guaranteed to provoke the Romans into war, Hannibal besieged the city. The siege of Saguntum lasted 8 cruel months before Hannibal broke through the city defenses and turned Saguntum into a killing field. It was a massacre.
Guys, it's crazy how long that like sieges last. I feel like, you know, nowadays you kind of just imagine that like every siege lasted like maybe a week at best. But no, they lasted for months. Some of them lasted for years. And it's kind of crazy. Maybe I should do a video on like specifically about like histories of war and sieges and stuff. That may be an interesting topic. Comment down below what you guys think. But I'll also probably do part 2 of this as well. But you know, that's a whole nother video.
What the hell? Tell me I didn't just catch you massacring our friends, the Saguntines.
Well, Consul, if you like the Saguntines so much, perhaps you
Should marry them.
Sug on these nuts.
Oh. Hey, that's a legit funny joke right there. I gotta say, that was actually very funny.
Hearing word of the attack on Saguntum, Rome was understandably in an uproar.
Yeah.
And all eyes were now fixated on what would happen next, as Rome sent a delegation to Carthage, led by one of the most highly esteemed Roman senators, Fabius Maximus.
Whoa. Yo, that is a crazy name. I would have, man, if I was back then, I definitely would have had the name Maximus, man. I would have been like, you know, whatever Maximus, it would have been so freaking cool. I would have been like the coolest dude in all of Rome back then. Everybody would have loved me. They all would have subscribed to my tablet channel. I would have been making Roman tablets and like updating people and stuff. I would have did like reactions to other tablets and stuff. It would have been crazy, bro. Like mine back in those days, me, bro, you couldn't even imagine.
He demanded an answer for Hannibal's sins. All right, listen up, scum. You've got a rogue general in Spain attacking a Roman ally. What are we supposed to do about it? Well, there shouldn't have even been a Roman ally in Spain. You're the aggressor here. Hand Hannibal over to us as a criminal so we can punish him severely. No, yes, no, no. Look, I hold in the folds of my toga both peace and war. Which one should I let drop?
Really? This is how you... Okay. That is hilarious. Yo, I got peace and I got war. Which one of these do you want? I got them both. Which one you coming for? The war one, it's like he got 2 pieces of bread and it's just a knuckle sandwich.
Whichever one you want. Then I choose...
Did he? And he really did this. He really flashed them while saying, I want war. And, you know, it was crazy.
The Second Punic War had begun.
That is hilarious.
Pack it up, boys. We've got them. We already destroyed these clowns once, and we were the underdogs. Now, we're the overdogs? Hot dogs. Exactly. This is gonna be easy. Here's the plan. Consul Longus, you take your army and sail straight for Carthage.
Okay.
Burn that city to the ground. And Consul Scipio, you just head on over to Iberia and make sure this Hannibal guy doesn't do anything crazy. I mean, what's he gonna do? Cross the Alps?
Yeah, that would be insane to see Hannibal cross the Alps with a bunch of crazy animals and a mass of people, and you know, knowing that there would be mass casualties, decides to still do it, and just to all in the, you know, hopes of just messing up everything that Rome's doing. It would be crazy if he did. He would never do something like that. Don't look at any history books or anything, guys. Don't look at that right now. Focus on the video.
To what? Cross the Alps.
We're going to what?
Yep.
I just told you, Hannibal.
We'll freeze to death. Trust me, Jerome. The Romans are expecting us to fight the same way we did last time.
They are.
Passively, taking no initiative. They think it's gonna be easy. So this time, we have to be aggressive. We have to go on the attack. It sickens me to say this, but this time, we have to be a little more Roman.
You mean we're gonna take poops and baths together? But I'm insecure about my hairy legs.
No, I'm saying this time, we're gonna take the fight to them. Think about it. Rome thinks they're simply going to invade us and win the war. So when they suddenly find themselves being invaded from the north, they'll freak out. Like Tony's mother, when the buffet runs out of shrimp. Hey! I gotta admit, it's actually kind of genius.
And my hairy legs
Yeah.
will insulate me from the cold. That's the spirit. Hannibal, you have my sword, and my spear, and my legs.
Ugh.
This leg joke is going on a little long, guys. It's happening a little bit much, guys.
Hannibal's plan, a daring alpine trek to surprise the Romans, was a bold but risky strategy.
Yeah.
If it paid off, he could catch the Romans with their pants down, but he could also end up losing a ton of men and supplies in the
Yeah.
hostile mountain conditions.
Now, guys, guess which one of these happens? Who wins the war? If you're not familiar with any of this history stuff, you're like, I don't even know about history. Who wins this war? Which country do you think wins the war? You know, just ponder for a second, you know. Do you think this idea works, or do you think it was just a really bold move? Let's find out.
Nevertheless, in 218 BC, with a fire in his eyes and some vengeance in his belly, Hannibal brought his force of almost 100,000 men across the Ebro River. They spent months on the road, trekking through the cold, hostile mountain conditions. And when they finally reached the other side, they said, "Hooray! We did it! We crossed the Alps." No, those were the Pyrenees. Those are the Alps.
Yeah.
After crossing the Pyrenees, the army then had to pass through southern Gaul, a vast territory filled with tribespeople, many of whom were hostile to Hannibal's presence. His journey to the Alps was an ordeal in itself, as he was forced to fight his way through and incurred pretty hefty losses before even reaching the mountains. His plan was almost stopped in its tracks entirely, as the Roman consul Scipio, on his way to Iberia, discovered Hannibal was right on his doorstep. Suddenly, Hannibal's journey became a race, as he rushed to get his massive army across the vast Rhone River before the Romans could intercept him. The crossing was chaotic, with the panicking elephants causing several men to drown. And the first combat of the war occurred when small scouting parties from each side encountered one another. When Scipio finally caught up to Hannibal's position, what he found was an empty Carthaginian camp. Hannibal had slipped through his fingers. The Roman consul Scipio felt the weight of the situation. Quite unbelievably, Hannibal was going to cross the Alps into Italy, and the Romans had no idea where he would emerge. For the first time, a Carthaginian force had the Roman homeland under threat.
Okay, now let's say you guys are part of the Hannibal forces. Which area do you come out of? Like, which area of the Alps do you like really go for? Like, this would be interesting because you could just go like kind of like, it doesn't really matter. But if it was me, I may be coming up like maybe around this area here, but that actually may be a little pretty expected, you know, because honestly, you could just take a boat from like right around here and then bam. But he was already more like, I think he was already closer up to this area right around yonder. So if he goes up these mountains here, comes out somewhere around here, or, you know, this is going to be a hike. This is already going to be a hike. This doesn't look far, but this is a big distance, guys. So like maybe you're looking at coming around one of these couple of areas here. You know, you want to focus on these, like the least amount of travel for the soldiers that are left. You know, that's just me though. Let's see what Hannibal does.
Scipio sent his men onto Iberia as planned, but he himself rushed home to raise a new army so that if Hannibal survived the crossing, Scipio would be there. waiting. Would you look at that, boys?
We're here. The Alps.
Although it is a little later than I expected.
Yeah, it's kinda chilly. We'll set up camp here and wait for spring, right? It's way too cold, right?
Psych.
Hannibal?
Hannibal's famous crossing of the Alps was brutal.
Yeah.
It was already autumn, and the men suffered terribly. It was cold. Men would fall off the sides of icy cliffs. They starved. They fell off the sides of icy cliffs. Some sources say they had to eat their pack animals and would finish off dying comrades in order to take their clothes for extra warmth. And then they would fall off the sides of icy cliffs.
Guys, stop looking off the sides of these cliffs.
Imagine an army of 50,000 men with all of their horses, supplies, and 37 elephants trying to navigate the most hostile mountain range in Europe. And it wasn't just nature that they were up against. Tribespeople lived in the mountains, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. A tribe approached Hannibal and said, "Hey man, geez, that's some nice armor. What is that, gold?"
Man, I'd really like that armor. Hey, boss! They've got food as well! Shut up! Be cool!
Hey, why don't you let us guide you through this narrow gorge? We're not gonna kill you or nothing. Just walk right on through there. We're not gonna kill you. It's just right this way.
They're not gonna. Don't worry, you guys are. This will be perfectly fine. Ignore that sign up there. That guy is cool. He actually just holds on to the boulder just in case people who aren't super chill and cool come through. But this is I would trust this.
We're not gonna kill you. Hannibal's army
Yeah.
were forced to fight their way through the gorge as massive boulders rained down on them from above. Some clever reorganization of his line helped them survive, and they were able to fend off the opportunistic tribes. But losses from the constant attacks were heavy. As the journey continued, men who went over the sides would get stuck on the ice sheets below and had to make a grisly choice between starving to death or just getting it over with. When the deeply demoralized army reached the summit and rested for a couple days, Hannibal tried to lift their spirits with a rousing speech.
Look, men! Down there! It's Rome. These plains stretching out in front of you are bountiful with food to eat and Romans to kill. Move, Bessie! Look! You have just climbed the walls of Rome. The hard part is over. From here on out, it's all downhill, and nobody else will die. Except for them. The rest of us here, no one dies. Starting now.
Somebody else is gonna die.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, for goodness
Yep,
sake!
I
As it
had a
turned out,
feeling.
The descent was as deadly as the way up.
Yeah.
With the cold really starting to set in, the path became even more narrow, and at one point, the men spent 3 days in the freezing cold repairing a collapsed road. When they finally reached the bottom,
Hey, they came out where I said they should come out. Where did they come out?
cold, repairing
Let's
a
see.
collapsed road. When
See, this guys, this is why you follow and watch this channel, because look at this strategic genius that me and Hannibal were on the same page. I said he should come out around here. This is where he came out, guys. Your boy. This is why you subscribe.
When they finally reached the bottom, Hannibal said,
Look, guys, we did it.
"Well, I thought it went really well." When Hannibal left Spain, he had about 100,000 men. By the time he reached the Italian plains, his numbers had dwindled to about 26,000. He was now caught in enemy territory without a supply line or source of reinforcements. And any elephants who had survived to this point were almost certainly traumatized. So what on earth was Hannibal up to? This supposed military genius had just led a starving and weakened army right into enemy territory. Any modern general who lost half their men to mountains would be immediately fired and possibly even depantsed on live TV. Here's the thing. While Hannibal may not have planned on losing quite so many men, he had almost certainly expected considerable losses, and he always had a plan for how to replace them. Need men? Northern Italy was full of men. Big, burly Celtic men. All the men Hannibal would ever need to beat off Rome. These
It's like, I know what he's doing here. All the men you need to beat off Rome. That make hey, that's hilarious.
Celts were filled with resentment, having only recently been conquered by Rome. Hannibal hoped to be seen as a liberator, convince the Celts to cut ties with Rome, and instead join him in crushing Rome. That way, he could gain a source of reinforcements and supplies right in Rome's backyard. But sir, in order to win the loyalty of the Celts, we would need to make a seriously favorable impression on them. How do we get them to like us?
Freedom.
One of Hannibal's first
What?
actions in Italy was to obliterate a nearby tribe who wouldn't join him. This sent a clear message to all the other tribes. It was his wrath they should fear, not Rome's.
Oh.
The realization that a Carthaginian army had just invaded them must have been shocking for the Romans. But when they looked at this ragtag group broken by the Alps, they couldn't have felt very intimidated. However, Hannibal was now in Italy, and he was about to embark on one of the most astonishing military campaigns in all of human history. The Romans may not have known it yet, but there was now a monster loose in their territory, and he was vying for Roman blood.
Nice. Great part. Great weird place to end it, guys. I'm gonna do part 2. This is gonna be fun. Part 2 will probably come out like a day or two after whenever part 1 comes out. But yeah, this is fun. I like this. I can't wait for the second one. I will say they lost a lot of guys. Again, Hannibal followed my perfect advice. Obviously, I gave it to him a little bit late. This is just a couple of thousand years after it happened. But, time is relative, guys. In the course of, human history, I literally just told him to do this and he did it. Or he did it after before I told him to do it. But it was moments before. And yeah, I do feel like they should have also had a ship of people who kind of went over. But I see the plan. I see what they were doing there. And obviously naval forces for Rome may be really, really good in this time, especially. So I do understand. Guys, this has been a really good video. Make sure you like, you comment on it, you subscribe, and then you follow for part 2. You watch out for the second Punic War Oversimplified part 2 reaction by your boy, myself. Also, check out the merch. It's available everywhere in stores, not actual stores, the merch store, just one, mine. The link will be in the description. So guys, this has been a fun video, and I'm going to get started on the next one. So as always, thank you. I love you. Bye.